All right, my name is Julius, and we're here
We're on the streets of Honolulu, Hawaii.
to form a new Hawaii Norml chapter called Norml High. We're trying to get that started. Also, we're in support of marijuana reform. After Colorado and Washington, pretty much, I feel like I have to get out here on the streets and say something. I have to stand up for my rights as an American. They're freer than we are, and it's hard for me to accept. And I want change in our government.
Replace this whole chemicalized Monsanto GMO crops with industrial hemp that can bring an income to our state and provide farmers with an income. They can also be growing hemp.
It's healthy. There's so many benefits for it. I mean, food, fuel. I mean, it's a plant. It's nature. How can we criminalize a plant?
Aloha mai kako. This is Carly Cosmos representing Babes Against Biotech, and we totally support the use of industrial hemp. It is a much more sustainable practice than the current GMOs that are invading Hawaii right now. It'll produce more paper, more clothes, more durable clothes and paper and wood and clothing material, energy. Please support Hawaii's fight for our legalization and decriminalization of cannabis in indica, sativa, and industrial hemp. Mahalo.
Reform of marijuana laws just makes sense. There's 100 million people who've tried marijuana, and that's conservative by health department estimates. And of those include our last 3 presidents. It's getting hard to field a president without finding someone who hasn't smoked marijuana, especially in the younger generations. And criminalization of marijuana has not worked. We're throwing almost 1 million people in jail every year, and that number has increased over the past 30 years. It's the most increasing statistic of arrests in our country over the past 30 years have been marijuana arrests. Yet we have this false impression that we're liberal about this, but we're not. Finally, Colorado and Washington have spoken up for recreational use, but even in medicinal use, where 18 states have spoken up, it's still so frustrating that the federal government refuses to even recognize any medicinal benefit of marijuana. It's ludicrous.
A sign that I made, it says human immune system, example, cells, happy human being, right? So marijuana, cannabis, hemp, all of that, all of its uses, Earth's immune system, straight up heal the planet. No ifs, ands, buts about it.
I'm in full support of FEB2013, and that is because this bill is to keep marijuana out of the hands of children. And this bill will support adults 21 and over to regulate it within themselves as adults, not children.
I think people are going to come to Hawaii if they have legalized medical marijuana cards from their states, or if they want to provide themselves with some recreation from some recreational marijuana here. If we legalize it, we're going to have a huge influx of income for ecotourism.
It all goes back to this morality war that they're fighting against our inalienable rights to ingest whatever we want. How can we not have the right to ingest whatever we want, especially when we are not committing any crimes to anybody else? These people driving by in these cars, they are more dangerous to society than me sitting at home smoking marijuana, but they're not criminals, but I am, and it's not fair. I'm tired of being a criminal. I don't know how more can I express this. It's a second-class citizenship.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights.
I want to register voters because I know there's a lot of voters like me who haven't really voted because there's no real choice for us. So we want to register voters, and we want to get out there, and we want to make noise and be heard.
Stand up for your rights. Come on. We're here for the pro-medical marijuana and recreational legalization of marijuana Hawaii. Do it.
I support marijuana legalization because drug dealers don't ID. If you want to keep it out of the hands of children.
I support all of our divine right to experiment on all of our own consciousness. Bottom line.
I support all cannabis, including industrial hemp and phytoremediation to rid GMOs.
We need to stop feeding people into the maw of the criminal justice system for low-level marijuana offenses.
There are 20 million regular pot smokers in America. At $200 a month, that's $4 billion a month. That's almost $50 billion a year. We're bigger than Apple.
Think about how much revenue this would generate for our state government.
Decriminalization is a huge step. They asked me when I went to the last hearing if I would support decriminalization, and I do. It's a big step not to be called a criminal. Marijuana wasn't always illegal, but we're here and we're trying to change these laws. I support all the reform laws before the state legislature right now, and so does everybody here. You know, we'll take freedom as it comes, but we have to speak up and we have to fight for it. It's very important because I really don't think if we don't, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And if we do not make any noise, we will not be heard, and nothing will change. And it's important to stand up with those politicians who put their ass on the line to stand up for reform of marijuana laws. So, you know, we have to do something about it. We are forming a new chapter of Norml Hawaii called Norml High. It's a national organization for the reform of marijuana laws. And I hope you join us. You can get a hold of us at Norml, at our Facebook page. Just look up Norml High on Facebook and you can find out what we're doing. But please join us in changing marijuana laws in Hawaii. It's time, after Colorado and Washington, we got to do this. We got to stand together and fight for our rights. Right on, everybody. Yeah! Keep it normal.
It's a plant. It's not evil.